Welcome back, Triple Option. You got your boy Caden, Dylan, and Tyler here. We are going to do our Super Bowl preview, and then we're going to start our talks into free agency or off-season chats. But first, we got to go over last week, which 2 weeks ago, Dylan was the big winner on divisional round when we did the spread. He went 3-1. He followed that up with a whopping 0-2 this week. He picked the Ravens minus 3.5. And the Niners -7, the two favorites. Dog water. Bad betting.
Whoops.
Bad. Tyler 2 weeks ago went 0-4, which is probably worse than going 0-2.
It's worse.
Thankfully, he went 1-1 this week and used his big brain to copy one of my picks. So congratulations, Tyler.
Okay.
I went from 2 weeks ago, I went 2-2, which, 500, middle of the pack. What are you going to do? To undefeated. And so 2-0. Does that make me the greatest gambler on this show? That is a question I want you guys to answer. Go ahead.
No.
Okay. All right. So you guys are still sad. That's okay. You have a chance this week. I think this week when we do our Super Bowl picks, we're probably just going to pick straight up because the line's -2. It's in Vegas. What are we thinking? Well, first let's talk about some of the championship games. What were your guys' thoughts? Any big takeaways?
Dude, how did the Ravens mess that up? How?
The Ravens?
Yeah.
Who messed it up worse, the Ravens or the Lions?
Well, so
I think the Lions.
Did they only run the ball 3 times in the second half, the Lions?
Did they? I don't know.
Someone told me they only ran it 3 times.
I don't think that's true because I remember them running a lot.
Yeah,
I know they ran a ton in the first half. They were averaging
I
like 8 yards a carry.
It sucks because that's what helped them get there, but just being too aggressive was their downfall.
It's hard to fault the Lions for that because
I know that's what I'm saying. It's biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it got you there, but it also stopped you there.
Yeah.
Like it was weird because the first half, it was 4th and goal from pretty short, like within the 7, and they kicked the field goal. I was pretty surprised by that.
Yeah.
But then the next 2 drives in the third quarter where San Francisco obviously is swinging the momentum, you decide to go for it from relatively easy field goal range was crazy to me.
Well, so I saw a thing that said their field goal kicker was like below 40% from 45 yards in field goal range. So they don't trust their kicker. Also, that momentum switch you can feel. So how do you choke them on the neck? You control the ball, right? And then the other part of that, Dan Campbell knows his defense isn't the greatest. Like he had a bunch of backups in there. There were quite a few injuries this game too. And so I can't fault, how it went down for him because again, like you said, it's how they got there. But I mean, if you're a Lions fan, you just you weren't supposed to beat you must have such a boner right now for the upcoming future. That's gotta be cool. I like to feel
well, and with Ben Johnson coming back is pretty sweet too.
That's huge for them.
Yeah.
So it feels good.
They keep a lot of their offense, don't they? I don't think they lose very much.
I don't think they lose anyone.
I mean, they're gonna have to back up the Brinks truck for Jared Goff, which they should.
Should they?
Bro, we can have that conversation again. But who are the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFC right now?
Let's hear them. You tell us.
I mean,
that's fair, but do you go get yourself a young one or a better AFC quarterback? Almost all the AFC quarterbacks.
One, but you want to go out to free agency and get one? Listen, Tyler, you know what it's been like with Andrew Luck. Since Andrew Luck, when is the last time? This year was the last time you had a glimpse of hope.
And that was for like 5 games.
Brother.
But Minshew was still good, and he's a free agent.
I would jack off 17 dudes to have my quarterback play like Jared Goff. You can clip that. Because damn, dude.
You're going to have to pay him a lot. And do you want to tie yourself to him for that much longer?
I mean, brother, how much more can this man do? You think Jared Goff lost that game?
How many years does he have left
This is
in his contract?
I'm pretty sure he's a free agent after this year.
See, I think you roll the dice. If he gets you a Super Bowl, then maybe. If he doesn't, move on and get yourself a new quarterback.
I don't have him as an upcoming free agent.
Where?
I don't know where, but like
find these quarterbacks.
If he doesn't get you there next year, that's
Matt
2 years in a row you had a shot and he didn't get you there.
Carson Wentz? You want to try with Carson Wentz? Matt Ryan? Phillip Rivers? Which one?
I'm not saying I have an answer. I'm just saying I don't think.
You think Gardner Minshew's going to lead him there?
No. Like I said, I don't have an answer, but I don't think you go stick with Goff.
Like top 5 QBs in the NFC. Where you got the NFC South. Are you taking any of those quarterbacks over Jared Goff?
No.
NFC East. Dak Prescott?
Jalen Hurts. I'd take Jalen over him.
That's hard. All of the quarterback talent's in the AFC right now. It's hard to compare trash to trash.
The 2023 season, you're taking Goff over Hurts. Not looking to the future, not looking in the past.
That's probably
if you're giving him the Brinks check, you have to look to the future.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, you can't say you can't look at the future.
I need to know what's going on in Philadelphia because there's some weird shit going on in Philly.
Is Kellen Moore actually going there? I heard he might be there.
I think they signed him, right?
Yeah, they signed him as their OC.
They did. Okay.
Hold on. Okay, sorry. Let's table this talk. Let's get to the Super Bowl preview, and we'll circle back.
Right, that's
my
fair.
fault.
That's fair.
That's my fault. I got emotional. Anyways, but I guess we got to finish the divisional round or championship round chat. But yeah, Tyler, what were your thoughts on the divisional round game? Championship games. Fuck.
I don't know. It's hard because I did stop watching both of them at one point just because I was bored and had better things to do with my time.
I did a podcast with this guy. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy to me.
Baltimore got outcoached for sure. Like, I think to start as soon as that game started, Lamar wasn't playing like Lamar had the previous round, and it just looked like
scared.
He did. Well, not just that, like just the play calling and all that. I was like, this doesn't seem like what the Ravens normally do. So it was just.
Are you blaming Lamar or Todd Monken?
Well, did you see the stat of somebody broke down every single running back run, like how many plays they ran? That was an actual running back designed run play. They ran 3.
Was it only 3?
Only 3 in that entire game. When their normal is like upwards of 25 plus.
Shit. Yeah. No, that's.
I don't think I blame Lamar because Lamar actually looked like he was trying out there. Like a lot of the times he didn't have time to throw. He was getting pressured like crazy, but he was still trying.
A lot of times though, he was holding onto the ball too long. I know
that was part of it.
Trying to beat the allegations of Lamar's not a running back, but like, brother, when you have those legs you're taking that long, you need to take off some of those times.
And I think part of that was play calling, though. He wasn't in his normal game because they're not giving the ball off to the running backs.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that he just saw Patrick Mahomes walk in and he got scared. And I don't think that's necessarily like a slight. I think that's every quarterback except maybe Joe Burrow. I think every quarterback's like, holy shit, this guy is – because, like, if he wins the Super Bowl, like, he's going to become the greatest of all time. Like, even if he will be. He will eventually be.
I think he will eventually be if they win it, yes.
Yeah, even if they don't win it, because, like, Super Bowl is a team – it's a team stat, not necessarily a player stat, but it's just insane. It's just insane.
If they don't win it, though, I don't know when they go back, honestly. It's AFC's getting harder and harder every year.
Bro, why do you – like, I'm telling you to stop doubting Patrick, dude.
Joey's back next year, too, and he's the bane of Mahomes.
He is it's like everyone tried to compare Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes to Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It really is Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes obviously being Brady because not very many of those QBs got to him. And Manning didn't do it very often, but he did it a couple times.
Actually, I would feel like in this scenario, Joe is currently more like Eli because Joe's beaten Mahomes more often.
Well, I'm talking like in the playoffs because like Josh has never touched him in the playoffs.
It's true, but Mahomes has never touched Joe in the playoffs.
Isn't he 1-1
last year?
Yeah.
Did he?
They're-
I thought he was
they're
2-0.
The championship game.
Yeah.
Fair.
1-1.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, no, but it's the Chiefs are going to be dominant, and it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
Because back in 2019, we were all rooting for Patrick Mahomes to dethrone Tom Brady. Little did we know he was going to pick up the crown for himself. Douchebag. I wish he was my quarterback. But no, for the Lions, they're going in this offseason just bricked up because that's got to be fun. Like the one year the Panthers were good, like it was awesome. It was the most fun year I've ever had watching football, but they weren't expected to be good. And so that part, like I didn't get that excited in the offseason. But I think the Lions were kind of in that boat too. But next year they're going to have a big, like I don't know if target on their back, but like they were America's team. Everyone's going to go and they're like, we're going to shun the Lions. So Lions don't win the division next year, early take. And the Ravens got to feel deflated. They're completely opposite, super soft going into the offseason because this was the Super Bowl year. This was the window. You had the best defense. You had the best offense.
Oh.
This was it. And so 49ers and Chiefs 2020 Super Bowl rematch. Tyler, I know you said, oh, I'm not going to watch it. Bullshit. You are going to watch it.
I honestly, at this point, don't think I am.
Okay, well, Tyler, give us your thoughts, even though you're not going to watch it to see if your thoughts come true.
The only way I watch is if I get convinced to go to a Super Bowl party. But
Tyler, we are now reporters in the field. We have over 65 followers on TikTok. We need to be on our shit for the people.
I can watch the highlights. Like, I think it's hard because I don't expect the Chiefs to be good just because you look on paper and they really shouldn't be that great. They have great players and some of the best players at the position, but it's like you look at 49ers roster and the Chiefs roster, and like 49ers should roll over them. Ravens should have rolled over them. So you've got the Mahomes factor. And so I think it's going to be a better game than I want it to be. And am I giving my pick right now?
Sure, go ahead.
I think it's going to be the Chiefs.
Oh my gosh. He's finally not doubting Mahomes.
I think it's
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. The biggest Mahomes hater for no reason. And he picks Mahomes to win.
Because Mahomes has only lost one Super Bowl, right?
Yep. That was versus Tom Brady.
And that was against the GOAT himself. Like, he doesn't lose here unless it's someone better, and Purdy is not better.
Dylan, what are your thoughts?
I think we're all going to pick the Chiefs. It's Mahomes. I'm slowly learning to never bet against him.
Yeah, no, you guys should have learned that a long time ago. I've been trying to tell you.
Well, okay, so no. Beginning of the season, I would have said don't bet against him. And then they got real shaky mid-season. It's like,
oh, for sure.
Maybe there's a chink in the armor. Maybe. But then dude, it's Mahomes. You can't.
I mean, we should have known. Like, I mean, I did know, obviously, because my picks last week. But y'all should have known. Like, the signs were there. You got to learn to read the signs. I'm happy to teach you guys. But this time you guys are wrong. The 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
No, I'm telling you, the Niners are going to win this Super Bowl. And the craziest thing that's going to happen, the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl. CMC is going to win MVP because he's just going to run all over those guys. Brock Purdy is going to be replaced next year by Kirk Cousins. This is just me looking in the future, letting you guys know.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins to San Fran. That's a lock. Yeah. And if for some reason this vision's wrong, the other vision is Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, Travis Kelce retires, and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get engaged within 6 months of the Super Bowl.
Going off of Travis's retirement, I think Mahomes will lose a little bit of that magic without Travis. Because if you think about it, without Travis, they don't make it past the first round this year. He has been crazy good in the playoffs.
You can say that, but like, what round was Rashid Rice drafted in?
Second.
That's true, but
and like that's not, which is good. I mean, obviously he didn't suck in college, but like, he's.
I think he was the fourth string coming into the season.
Yeah, and it's like he's gonna have, and the craziest part, like with the Chiefs, and this is Tyler. This is why it upsets me so much that you think that they're somehow gonna fail. They're not gonna fail. They traded Tyreek Hill because they didn't want to pay him. What do they use with that money? They build their defense. Their defense is better than their offense. Everyone is shitting on that defense. They have two of probably the best corners in the league. They have Drew Tranquil, I think I'm saying his last name wrong, who came on a 1-year deal playing like prime Luke Kuechly. And yes, I'm comparing him to Luke Kuechly because he's white. It is what it is. But like, and Justin Reed is probably the most underrated safety in the league. Like, it is insane what they did with the money they were going to spend with Reed, building up that defense. And then that offense, it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, you saw what they did that first drive versus the Ravens, 10 for 10 for a touchdown.
Who were those all two?
Huh? Who
were 8 of those passes to?
Probably to Travis, which is fine.
So if he's gone, nobody's there to catch it.
No, that's not true. He would make Noah Gray into a Greg Olsen, man.
The thing is, nobody's as good at catching as Travis is. That's my thing. Is like everyone else struggle with catching this year. Like, does Mahomes throw a bad ball?
No, even Kelsey, dude.
Oh my gosh,
you are driving me nuts.
You guys need to have this conversation privately.
No, we don't. This is better live. You're wrong. However, the Niners are going to win. Also, battle of the tight ends. Which tight end are you taking, Kelsey or Kittle?
Kelsey.
Currently,
who's the better all-around tight end?
Probably Kittle, because he's a lot better blocker. I feel like Kittle will go out and block for you.
No, when I see him, did you guys see him pancake? Did you see him pancake Aiden Hutchinson?
Yep.
And then laugh about it? That's football porn.
I feel like Travis gets a little lazy when it comes to blocking.
I mean, you're a Hall of Famer, bro.
That's true. That's true.
Is George Kittle a Hall of Famer?
No.
Hall of Very Good?
Hall of Very Good right now.
The
Super Bowl puts him in the Hall of Fame.
He did have a lot of injuries. 5th-round pick from Iowa, though.
I also disagree with your Purdy take. If they win, there's no way they move on from Purdy.
Bro, he literally told him, hey, if Tom Brady, like, you're the starter unless Tom Brady comes out of retirement. Which he understood.
If they lose, I can see that. If he wins you the Super Bowl, you instantly move on from him.
I mean, if they win the Super Bowl and it's like a Peyton Manning-like Super Bowl when Peyton Manning won, like, even though the Broncos won the Super Bowl that year, and if Peyton Manning wanted to come back, they weren't going to let him come back.
You're right.
Okay, but Peyton Manning had a neck injury.
That was he played 3 seasons and won an MVP and went to 2 Super Bowls after the neck injury.
With an injury like that, it's like it could happen at any moment. Purdy's healthy. Like, there's nothing wrong with him.
He messed up his shoulder. He tore his Tommy John.
His elbow.
I can't imagine people would be too happy if, like, after he wins a Super Bowl, instantly bringing in. There'd be very few names that they would be okay with.
I bet at halftime of that Lions game, they were like, damn, maybe Sam Darnold's the man. Maybe it's time for Darnold.
No way anybody wants Darnold starting.
I am thinking, fun fact, I want to bet versus Tyler because he had the Ravens winning. I had the Chiefs. I'm smarter. I'm better. So I get to place a $20 bet on him of anything I want. And I'm either going to do a 6-man on Prize Picks. I'll make sure to get it out to you guys. Or I'm thinking heads or tails.
I like the heads or tails one.
Or I'm thinking Gatorade color. Or $20 on Sam Darnold winning MVP. Plus 5,000.
I don't even think that's an option.
Plus I checked. Plus 5,000.
People asked for it, and DraftKings made it an option.
Wow.
I don't know.
I don't hate the non-quarterback to throw a touchdown line. That one's not bad either.
C-Mac could definitely throw a touchdown.
And so could Travis. Travis, they've done it. They've tried.
Yeah. Real quick, before we move on, give me your guys' first touchdown score in the Super Bowl.
First touchdown scorer.
First touchdown scorer.
For each team or just one in general?
Just first one to score.
Safest is CMC. And what are Rice? It depends on lines. If Rice's line isn't if it's crazy good, I'd
this
take
isn't
that.
for lines. This is just for us. Just to predict.
Then CMC probably. I'd probably go McCaffrey.
I'm taking Ayuk.
So you guys both have the Chiefs winning, but you have the Niners scoring first. Interesting.
We can't have it be a close game. The Niners.
I'm just saying that's interesting. That's interesting.
If the Niners get the ball first, I think whoever gets the ball first is scoring first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Kittle.
See, I don't like that. See, I had Kittle in fantasy, and that dude is scared of touchdowns.
Well, I might use your $20 then. $20 on Kittle first touchdown score. I can do whatever I want.
I would hate that if that hit.
All right, you know what? Lock it in. Lock it in. Send the money to Josh. Lock it in. All right. Well, there you have it. The 49ers will be winning the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Dylan and Tyler stick with the Chiefs. I won't even be upset if the Chiefs win because I did tell you guys this whole season, don't bet against the Chiefs.
Except
and here I am doing it. So I'm excited to do it. Yeah, no, I'm excited to fade it. But now we're going to move on to just like a touch of the offseason. We're all going to go to our favorite teams and kind of fix them. So we're the GMs. Howie Roseman, we're going to start with you. What are we going to do to fix the Eagles, including their locker room drama? Because there needs to be a leader in that hope.
Yeah. So I think locker room, I think Jalen and AJ both need to step up.
Because weren't they fighting last time we saw them on TV?
It did kind of seem that way. I think they both need to put their egos aside. As humble as Jalen comes off at times, I think he does have an ego, which you have to be a professional sports player.
Especially in Philly.
Yeah. I think that's where the locker room needs to get fixed. I think Sirianni needs to step up too. He does act a little obnoxious, and that's contagious. Guys are going to see, AJ Brown's going to feel more comfortable throwing his fits, whether they're fits or not. They appear to be fits because the head coach is throwing fits. So I think if Sirianni, it needs to start with Sirianni, Jalen, and AJ. They all need to have a come to Jesus moment and figure it out. I actually am a big fan of our coordinating hires so far. Fangio and Moore. I mean, Chargers were a top 10 offense with him. Cowboys were a top 10 offense with him. He's a good coordinator. I think he's going to help fix what we need fixed. I don't know what the problem was last year, but god awful. We were terrible at play calling. I like the hires that Fangio's making under him. He took a couple guys from the Seahawks. I want to say it was their D-line and their linebackers coaches. And they both seem to be really good. I mean, Seattle's defense has always been pretty good. So I've enjoyed that. I think player-wise, I am begging them to spend money on the secondary and free agency. We put so many draft picks in and even free agency money into that line, that front seven. I really want them, as tough as it's going to be, somebody like Jalen Johnson, I think would be awesome. Again, he's one of the top cornerbacks on the free agent market, though, which is the shitty part.
Yeah, who is the top corner?
He's the top corner. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a safety. He's a little bit above him. He would be awesome too.
He's a safety though.
Yeah. L'Jarius Sneed is another corner that would be cool to target. Is it going to happen? Who knows? He's probably going to stay in KC because that's, only good things happen to bad people. And then I think with our draft picks, I want them to go O-line because it seems like that's what we do really good is draft O-linemen. We haven't been able to draft corners very well. We haven't been able to draft receivers outside of Devontae Smith very well. So I think O-line is where we need to go, especially because Kelsey's on the fence of coming back. Lane Johnson's getting old.
I thought Kelsey announced he's retired.
Every interview he's doing, he's so excited. He keeps saying he's so excited to prove something.
No, because
there was
they
no
talked about
official
him when he
retirement.
fights.
No, that was reports that he's retiring. It's not official.
I think his brother's playoff run has kind of revitalized it a little bit. Like he's like maybe one more.
Interesting. I thought he was
Jason
done.
Kelce himself has not come out and said he's retired. So yeah, I think drafting O linemen, getting them, taught by, some of the great O linemen in the league right now, Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce, will help us in the future for sure. And that's what I got.
I like it. I think if they really wanted to fix that culture, they would have gone Ron Rivera at defensive coordinator / and then when they fired Nick Sirianni halfway through next year, easy to promote Riverboat Ron, and you guys can enjoy the 8 and 9 life for the rest of your life.
Yeah, see, that's why we didn't do that.
It's exhilarating. You should try it.
Do you think you need a change at running back at all?
I kind of thought about it. Huh?
Barkley in that offense?
He would be good, but are we going to be able to pay him?
I mean, the Giants aren't going to pay him.
There is a lot of mouths to feed. I mean, if the money's there, I would love him.
1 year prove it deal, maybe. Back. He didn't have the greatest season.
Who?
Barkley, like 1 year prove it deal, maybe.
Yeah, same for Henry.
I mean, plus, isn't he from? Or I guess he's not from Pennsylvania, but he went to Penn State.
Yeah, no, it would be cool. I would love it. I mean, what are the chances of that happening? Type of thing, I could see us doing another mid-round draft pick on a guy and doing the same thing we did with Swift this year and try and have like a more of a two-headed monster instead of
cluttered like that though.
It's what?
I feel like it gets cluttered sometimes like that. It's like you got this guy in free agent and you want to try to get a new guy in there. It's like I don't know. It just seemed to stall out sometimes this year for the Eagles in the backfield.
And that could be play calling though.
That's true. That is true. Moore likes to pass though, right? He's more of a pass guy.
Hurts?
He is. Not Hurts, Moore.
Oh, Moore. Yeah, he does seem like an aired out guy, but I think that's going to help the run.
I mean, maybe Austin Eckler, an older Austin Eckler in Philly. Darren Sproles 2.0.
A little pricey too.
Maybe.
Depends on what his relationship with Kellen Moore was.
Yeah.
I'd say, how has he played? I didn't watch a ton of Chargers games.
Very mid last year.
He was bad. I would argue he was bad last year.
I wouldn't argue back. He's pretty
I guess it would be interesting to see what Moore does with Swift. Maybe he likes Swift.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, Tyler, a.k.a. Chris Ballard. Fix the Indianapolis Colts. What medicine does your owner need to survive?
I don't know, dude. Fountain of youth. Maybe undo all the drugs he did.
I was going to say a Super Bowl championship, but...
he promised 2 in this decade, and we're getting pretty close to the end of this decade. So, but a lot of people would probably say our defense is a big one. I feel like our defense is more just young and really injury prone. Experience and staying healthy could really help. I've nagged on this all season, but my biggest worry is wide receiver. In an ideal world, we would move on from Pittman, even though I know we're going to freaking pay him. But hear me out. I know we can't really trade him anymore unless if you franchise tag, can you trade?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know about
No, because I know someone did, because then they trade him, but the two other sides have to agree on a contract before they trade.
Oh, gotcha. So it's like,
it's a sign and trade.
Now,
basically.
Yeah.
I'm like 80%
he's a free agent. But ideally, I would have loved for us to do a Zach Moss Pittman package to the Cardinals. We go up and we get our wide receiver. His dad played here. It's tempting.
Zach Moss? Why would they accept that trade?
Because, Zach Moss had a decent year, give him a running back and a wide receiver.
Way better than Zach Moss.
Yeah, but Connor's getting a little old.
Moss has been in the league damn near 8 years.
I think Moss is the same age as.
Is Moss the same age? I was thinking Moss was a year or two younger. He might be the same age. But
Look it
like I
up
said,
right now.
I don't want to play Pittman just because I feel like we've got a year or two of development, and paying him I feel like would be a waste. So with our first pick, I want to go get a receiver. Are they the same age?
2 year
Zach
difference.
is 26, Connor's 28. So
See, I was right. 2 years. I knew. Okay, I was right. It's still not a great trade for the Cardinals, but that's the only way I see us getting our
and
wide
you
receiver.
think they would move up to number what pick was that?
That'd have to be 4.
4? Would you give them your first round pick? Or would you keep it?
If somebody
Yes.
offered you
Oh, yeah,
Pittman
yeah.
and Moss for pick number 4, you would say yes.
Well, and if we threw in our pick too, yeah, switch it.
What pick do you guys have?
15.
That new
Yeah.
GM does like to trade back.
He loves trading back, and
That's
what's
probably
hard
more
is
likely for Brock Bowers, but I guess they have Trey McBride, huh?
I could see us trading out of the first just because right now we have 2 cornerbacks falling to us. I don't know what Ballard thinks about our cornerbacks. I'm okay with them as long as they stay healthy. Because we had our first 4 just get hurt this year, and they're young, so I'm okay with it. A defensive back wouldn't hurt us. Someone more of a playmaker. I want receivers so bad. I want something flashy, and I guess we could go get like a T. Higgins, but I feel like that's basically a Pittman, so you might as well just sign Pittman for. I don't know. The Colts are too nice. We paid Jonathan Taylor, which
Bro,
I guess
I feel like if you were an NFL owner, you would be Dave Gettleman, and no one wants to play for you.
No, so my thing is we just got a new quarterback. It's gonna take a year or 2 to figure things out. Why are we paying these dudes to
Do
be
you
on
understand this is your window? Like, unfortunately, he got hurt, but he looked damn good.
He
and
did
now
look
your
good.
window to win a Super Bowl is while your quarterback is on a rookie deal.
But is he better than Stroud?
Everyone else. Is he better than
He
Stroud?
might be.
We don't know.
It's a small sample size.
Yeah. Bro, he looked good. He was flashy. And even like if everyone compared him to Cam Newton never had a good receiver. Ever. He had old ass
Dude,
Smith and young
Ted
ass
Ginn was
DJ
so
Moore.
good.
Ted Ginn was like a top 3 receiver for him. And that's crazy. Yeah, he had Greg Olsen, but like
it's an offensive world, so if we're gonna compete, we need a receiver.
Look at the Chiefs, man. What do you mean you need a receiver?
Hey, you can't say that because the Chiefs have Mahomes. You can't just go get a Mahomes.
How do you know you don't have a Mahomes?
You don't know.
The fact that he's already hurt, it's starting to look like an Andrew Luck again, where he's hurt every freaking season.
Stay at 15. Get yourself Brock Bowers.
Get an offensive lineman then protect.
I don't think. Let's see. Where do they have Bowers?
No, see the O line. Okay.
Where do they have?
They
have Bowers going at 14, or
I think he ends up with the Chargers.
I was going to say everything I've seen says he's going to the Chargers.
And that's a great pick. That's a great pick.
See, so he doesn't fall that far. That's why I seriously think Ballard will trade out. I think he'll try to get like 2 second-rounders or something like that, and just get a bunch of defensive guys. Which I'm okay with that if we go sign someone like T. Higgins.
I just can't have him.
You just want him. That's why you don't like it.
It's not fair. No,
I would be okay with a Pittman Higgins and then a more defensive focused draft. I think I'd be okay with.
I think if anyone's going to steal Pittman from Carolina, well, I think there's a good chance the Bengals franchise tag him. But also,
I think personally, if they were going to pay him, he would want to stay with Bengals.
I don't think he's going to get paid. You got to pay Jamar Chase in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think he ends up on the Bills if Diggs leaves.
I think Tennessee, because that's where his OC went.
You go to that bad of a team, though? They're kind of that's all young quarterbacks. Do we think he wants a young quarterback?
We think he wants. This is his first contract.
He wants money.
He wants a bag. No one cares about winning Super Bowl until they're older.
What if Bills get Diggs to stay and they go get him? That'd be a decent receiver core.
Just for Josh Allen to overthrow
I'd like that.
Just for Josh Allen to overthrow him.
Would you be interested in Davis at all? Gabe Davis? He might be leaving.
No.
You don't want him?
Well, okay.
He might be cheap-ish.
Let's let's talk Carolina Panthers 2024. All right, we don't have a first round pick. In a different world, we pick Caleb Williams this draft. Okay, and I'm choosing not to think about that, and I'm praying he's bad at football. I'm praying. I personally, you said what?
What pick would you have had the year you got Young?
9.
I think it was 9, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was 8 or 9.
Yeah. So we probably would have drafted, I don't know,
Jalen Carter.
maybe. Honestly, we're a D tackle farm, so maybe Jalen Carter.
He
Anyway,
fell to the Eagles at 10.
yeah, it could have been. This is what I think is going to happen. Okay, we just signed a shit ton of Buccaneers coaches, which I don't feel great about because again, they're 9-8 and barely won the division in a really bad NFC South. So optimism is very low. However, I was very high on Matt Rule, so I'm hoping that kind of maybe I just don't have a nose for coaches.
You also kind of thought Frank would do okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He did good with the Colts at first.
Yeah,
as soon as the Panthers signed Frank, I texted Caden and I was like, I'm so sorry.
I was underwhelmed with the signing, but I was like, it makes sense. He wants a guy who was in the NFL. You know, it is what it is. But an absolute must. The offseason will be the only way to strike blood into my wiener and get erect again for the Carolina Panthers is it's a must to sign T. Higgins or Michael Pittman. That is an absolute. You throw the bag at him, you overpay him, you do what you got to do to see if Bryce Young's the guy. I then think a beautiful compliment to T. Higgins or Michael Pittman would be a Hollywood Brown from Arizona. I think that compliment would go nice. You have Adam Thielen in the slot. I mean, and if we end up replacing Adam Thielen, it is what it is. But I think that would be really solid.
Was that a 2-year deal with Thielen?
Or 3-year.
Oh, 3.
333. Yeah. One that I didn't think was possible, but now I do think is possible. Very, very low key. If the Bucs don't want Mike Evans back, I can definitely see Mike Evans coming to Carolina, following his offensive coordinator into Carolina. Obviously, wide receiver is number 1. Number 2 is we drafted a left tackle with our last first-round pick that we had, and he was good his rookie year, had the hardest sophomore slump I've ever seen. And so you have 2 options. You can see if that's going to continue and he continues being ass, or you protect your franchise guy. So what I want us to do is get a Tyron Smith or Armstead from Miami, Tyrone Smith, sorry, the Cowboys tackle or the Miami tackle.
Isn't it Tyler Smith?
It's there. No, that's a new one. The older one's
the
Tyrone,
one.
number 77. He's old and he's injury prone, and hopefully it's kind of like a sitting Patrick Mahomes for Alex Smith kind of thing. You just learn, and hopefully he gets better. Or a lot of scouts thought that he would be a good guard coming in the league. That is an option. Move him to guard. We also have what's his name? I just forgot his name, but he went to BYU. Brady Christensen. He's playing left guard. He was a tackle in college. They moved him to guard. He was a good guard. He just got hurt. We had like 4 or 5 different starting left guards. Maybe what you do is put Aquanu, which is that guy you pulled on the TikTok and you couldn't pronounce his name. It's Akeem Aquanu. Yeah.
You can just call him Dumpster Fire too.
Dumpster Fire is also really good. But so then you take Christensen, you put him at left tackle and move Aquanu to left guard, because Aquanu, as bad as he is at pass blocking, he's twice as good at run blocking, because that dude mows dudes down, just can't set his feet, not long enough, whatever the problem is. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him. Or if the coaches decide, what the hell was the other regime thinking? This guy sucks balls. I say you throw a tiny bag, not much, because at Mekhi Becton, who was a high draft pick for the Jets, give him a go, change the scenery. It almost never works, but one time it might happen. Now, flipping to the defense, I don't think that we're going to be able to attract much in free agency for defense. We need linebackers, and we need a second corner.
Are you
We have-
losing anything? Do you have any free agents?
So the biggest one's Brian Burns, but he's probably the most overrated piece of shit. And we need to burn Scott Fitterer for not trading him for 2 first-round picks, because then we would have had 3, and it wouldn't have been a problem that we traded 1 to Chicago. Because it wouldn't have
Imagine
been
that,
number
dude.
1.
This year with 3.
Well, yeah. So the Rams offered us 2 last year.
Oh,
At
last
the trade
year.
deadline, I think someone offered us 1, and he still said no.
So
And
you
he
say you
didn't
could have
sign
gotten
him.
Young and Carter last year.
I mean, maybe we could have at least had a first-round pick for him, who's very underwhelming. Maybe he goes to a place like Baltimore, and I think and he becomes probably the greatest defensive end of all time. Which
I was going to say, that seems like a career reviver for defense lately.
That's a great fit, low-key. But I also can see us franchise tagging him just because, listen, bitch, if we're going down, you're coming down with us. Kind of
We're gonna get our money's worth on.
And so when Brian Burns did have his best year, there was a solid pass rush to the opposite of him with Hassan Reddick, and I can't believe also burn Scott Fitterer for letting him walk. Actually, that's actually Matt Rule, I think. So opposite of Brian Burns, if we keep him, and if he's cheap, is Chase Young. You know, he looked like garbage. Even versus the Lions, he looked like garbage, but try. He's young. He's a number 2 overall pick. Give him a shot. Devin White,
he's a number 2 overall pick. Give him a shot.
Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Bring him in. Let's see if having a Brian Burns on the opposite can help him out. We have one of the best young D tackles in the league that we're also going to have to pay here soon. And so if they choose Burns over Brown, I will burn Scott Fitterer, even though he's not here anymore. And so then another one that I do think is actually going to happen, probably more than T. Higgins, is I think Devin White is a perfect fit in Carolina. He got benched multiple times in Tampa Bay, and I don't think it's because he's bad. I think it's because the players behind him were playing better. / he requested a trade because they wouldn't pay him, and so I think they found someone that they're going to replace him with. He is a free agent, and again, there is that familiar area. I don't know how to say it.
Familial.
Yeah,
sounds like you just want to be a Bucks fan. This is all
I
Bucks
don't want to, but it's what makes sense. Bring him in. We finally have a linebacker, not close to Luke Kuechly, but someone who's quick and can go sideline to sideline. There are a few other Bucks free agents that I just think would fit because it's what we need. But like a Levante David, he's too old. I think he's going to finish his career in Tampa. With the corner, we do need a corner, but again, I don't see us going after Jalen Johnson. I don't see us having a chance at Snead because I think he stays in KC. And then I don't think anyone else is necessarily worth it. Probably should have kept what's his name, Gilmore. But yeah, so that's
go after.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Did we extend Kenny Moore? I'm trying to remember.
I think you guys did.
I think we did. I was gonna say he was supposed to be a free agent, but
and I want to be optimistic and be like, okay, we can make a couple trades, get a couple veterans, but we don't have the capital to be doing that. So we do need to make a splash in free agency. I think if you shore up the offensive line, get Bryce Young a real weapon. It's hard, and if Bryce Young isn't good next year, it's hard to blame everything else like I have been doing. The absolute last thing we can do, which will take us from, because I just created NFC South champion team, without a doubt on paper. NFC South championship team.
You're 13th on the cap list.
Yeah, I mean the cap isn't real. You can throw money around.
That's true.
And plus rookie deal. This is the time to do it. The last thing we need, the missing piece. We tried Andy Dalton, and obviously he did garbage at mentoring Bryce Young. We bring in Joe Flacco. Okay.
Oh my God.
Bring in Joe Flacco. I don't ever want to see him snap it because I want Bryce Young to be great. But in case he goes down, give me a little Joe Flacco magic.
Flacco's going to be a starter somewhere.
He's definitely not being started. But
he's a starter for the Browns.
Well, because of injuries. He won't.
Who do you want, Watson or Flacco?
Watson.
They have too much money tied into Watson. They can't.
Hold on. Are you saying you think the Browns offer him the starting quarterback job next year?
There's just something about Flacco.
There is something about Flacco.
No. Did you watch him in that game against the Browns?
I don't think they offer him
Or
the
against the
job, but
Texans?
I think they allow a competition. Like
No.
you gotta light a fire under Watson. Like, hey, we're bringing in competition.
They gave Deshaun Watson the most
Bro.
guaranteed money in NFL history. They're not moving on from him for Joe Flacco.
Deshaun Watson will legit be like, okay, why? The whole thing
That's
is why
true.
Deshaun Watson's bad and why he quit on his team, why he's not really injured, is because he has guaranteed money. So why put your body on the line when you got the bag?
That's fair.
Like,
That's
they
fair.
can't take it away from him, you know. But yeah, that's what I think. Obviously, and with our second pick, first in the second round, I can't say his name.
Who does he play for?
Adonai Mitchell.
Adonai
Mitchell from Texas, and that is because I don't think we're going to get all these receivers. Obviously, I think we get probably just Marquise Brown, and we don't even.
Do you think he falls though?
A lot of people are saying that he's not going to be a first round.
Huh.
So maybe.
I think a lot of receivers are going to go in that first round.
It's a receiver heavy draft class. It's not a bad time to need a receiver. It reminds me of the 2014 one.
What if they trade their second round pick? How would you feel about that?
I mean, who's it for? Is it for Stefan Diggs? Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would you be okay if they went and did something with it, or do you want that pick?
This is my goal is to this next year for the Panthers is never too high, never too low. You know, because this was the floor. Because we had the opportunity. We messed this up. We turn into the Browns of old. We become the new Browns, and that's going to
Jaguars as well.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I'm really gonna have to buy just an NFL hat and just be a
referee hat.
Maybe a ref hat.
The refs never lose.
That's in Philly they throw snowballs at them.
Did they lose though?
Dildos?
Yeah, I think that's in Buffalo.
Let's cut it right there.
I was just saying refs in general getting stuff thrown at them. Like,
yeah, no, that's true.
No, you said dildos.
That is our early season. That went a little longer than I thought it was going to go, but that's kind of what our off-season talk is going to look like. Well, if you want any other off-season content, leave us a comment. We're happy to do it. But thanks for tuning in.